Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We are in Dresden in the Citadel, and we are about to manage the Crusade affairs, which is an important thing for us to deal with. But before we start that, I would like to mention a couple of things. For Social, his Mythic level 3 was Impossible Domain Nobility, which is fairly important that I mention, because I didn't show you guys that how I leveled him up. Also at level 9 I grabbed combat reflexes on him, and I also gave him another point in wisdom. Does he have very late on, he needs Mythic Beast, because his dog, Escao, will not go above level 6, I think, or it will remain a couple of levels behind compared to the other ones. You can see 39 hit points versus 68, 77, 77, and so forth. I've also adjusted the spells for the various characters, and that is the most important things that I should mention for now. We can equip our skeletal marksman. Apparently I'm not allowed to name him. Sad, because I would like to name him. Would be nice to have some name for this guy. I might be able to do it with the toy box, actually. Party. Friendly. Sure. It doesn't say that I can, so it's not that difficult. Oh, not that important either, but it would be fun. Okay, let's manage the Crusade affairs. I don't know if we have access to... I mean, we have marksmen now. This army here, I think we can remove Crusade. No. Armies, of course. Crusader Army 4. Remove. So this army is more relevant. Let us assign a general to this army. Setsuna Shai seems to be a good option for that. We have 54,000 finance points, so that should not be a problem. And we can have... I think that should do it. I would like to rename this army. Then we have Crusader Army 3. We can recruit troops. I'm not sure how that works now. $286. Okay. Let's assign a general to this army as well. I think we'll go with offensive training with Furio Solaretti. There we go. Now we need to edit these armies so that we get enough units. And now I'm not going to go with 500s anymore. I'm going to go with 1000s. this army is going to be absolutely ridiculous. But that is also part of the point. I just want to not have to think about this while I also do the Crusade crap. Can I add? No, these are the only ones I can add currently. Oh, you can actually adjust things here as well. That I'm not going to do though. Save and close. Okay, now this army is definitely the most dangerous of our armies. We will send that southwards. During this or on that path. Why can this move that way? Well, it was the correct way, so... Particularly worried about that army. Then we can take the fortress here. We have Fallen Knights, Omoxes and Ash Giants. We also have some zombies now, apparently. Yeah, because we also raise their armies. The dead ones. It's literally a total of all armies. She leveled up. We will give her Zealous Student. That should be Winter Sun or whatever it's called. There is a particularly nasty army that we want to take out here somewhere. I think it's that one. Yeah, it's this one. This one is really, really nasty. But that's back north again and then south. I could speed this up somehow. Okay, this army here. I don't think that is sufficient to take out the army down in the south that I'm most worried about. I think I need 3 ranged units in an army to take out that one in the south. The cavalry, we want to take that out immediately. They will be revived in the infirmary. Can flame them. Braces of Heavy Hand. That's not too bad. Could be good for Regil, since he's wearing or wielding a double weapon. As for this army, go up this way. And I know this might not be the most exciting thing. Oh no, not those guys. Well, I'll just have to replenish the archers via toy box. She leveled up. We'll go with the mobile hospital then. She also gets penetrating strike. Crusader Army 4 is largely irrelevant. Does this one have skeletons in it? Yes, so I'll just send it after that one then. Crusader Army 5. This one is relevant. We might want to send that down in that direction actually. There is another benefit to doing this. We are actually mapping out the roads, which is definitely useful. He leveled up, so we'll give him less, I think. He leveled up one more time. Master of Maneuver 2, without a doubt. Means we can have even more troops in the army. And we'll split that into 2. And now we'll give him Cure Wounds and move him further on. And now we get to the really nasty army. I'll quick save here because, well, I can always adjust the army again afterwards. But this fight is brutal. Okay, that means we are basically doing it without any problem, because he will cast lightning, which will kill like 500 of those troops. But since we killed his army before he got to do that, we are good. Continue and find the road. We're going to get lots of skeletal armies around here. That appears to be it in regards to that. Now as for the events. An army of thieves. A large group of suspicious individuals has arrived at the gates of Dresden. They wish to join the Crusade. Officers have recognized a number of thieves and murderers among their ranks, and it seems that the newcomers are only interested in spoils of war. Should they be accepted? Now, if you hold over the choice effects, you will see what happens. And you will also see if it, for instance, like this one, if it is a good choice, if it is a lawful choice, and so forth. Unlocks the Death Redeems All. I think we'll go with that one. Raise the criminals as undead. The necromancers will grant death to the criminals and raise them as obedient corpses. Then they will once again be clear before the law. An important inspection. A group of officials from Nerosian is on its way to Dresden. They want to inspect how well the Crusade is organized. What kind of welcome should they receive? Cold, that gives us leadership experience. Lavish, that gives us finance points. I would suspect that would be opposite, but okay. Show things as they are. We get both finance points and diplomacy experience, whereas this one gives leadership. We could bring them to the front lines, which will give us military experience. I think we'll go with show things as they are. The officials were desperate to find some kind of fault, but found none, and begrudgingly admitted that the Crusade is organized expertly. They promised to increase support from the authorities. That gave us a permanent increase of finance points by 30. Now for the decrees. I like to split these up into the various ones. So we can form councils, we can develop, like we can increase one of these outposts. We need to build stuff in that as well, but we'll get back to that. We can work on our relics. I need to look at what the various relics do before I do that. And we also have the other ones. This one is fairly important. It takes 30 days to solve, which is not at all good. However, I deem this so important that even... Well, actually, let's rank up logistics first, and then we can build a ziggurat. We also want to form a staff council, and we want to form a diplomatic council. As for that basically means that we cannot do any of the other ones. Now, if I just open these, we can get rid of the... exclamation mark. There. So, now all of these are... We can do the orders to Irabeth, but it takes 7 days. However, I think we shall issue this decree. Irabeth's breakdown, which occurred before the assault on Dresden, still haunts her mind. She should be reminded that she was, is, and will always be a hero in the eyes of the soldiers by appointing her as commander of a small squad of crusaders. Unfortunately, because Irabeth is occupied as squad leader, her duties in the Crusades command have to be transferred to someone else. So that will take 1 day for all of these 3 to finish, and then we have to go back to the room we are currently in. And now we need to jump down into the dungeon quickly to talk to Nura, and then we shall leave the city. I'll pause the recording while I just walk down to the dungeons. I completely forgot that when you leave the citadel, you can just go to the prison. The demon hordes keep attacking us without warning, as if they're appearing out of thin air. Do you know how they're doing it? I can't say for sure, but I have heard rumors. There's a place called the Molten Scar where the Grey Road makes a sharp turn and forks. It must be hard to miss. It's a big gorge with lava flowing at the bottom. A rock sorceress has a lair there. If you continued your offensive beyond Dresden, the rock was supposed to organize an army at your flank and cut you off from behind. I don't know what it means, but maybe she maintains a rift there. And thus we got that information very, very easily. And with that, we are going to leave the city. Now, I will pause the recording, and you will be back with me this quickly. We do not want this party composition now. We want Sela, we want Thunfix, we want Camellia, even though I would prefer Woljif. We want Lan, and we want Darren. Social would be a better option than Darren, but no. I probably should have slept. But then again, we are fine. There's a demon army on its way to attack us. And down here. I think that means it will go past Winter Sun. Not sure. We can use party teleportation and we can use amplify resistance. Okay, very quickly what I have to do is manage these outposts as well. Ugh, there's so much that has to be done. Build. We want to have... Watchtower is useful. Supply center. Hospital. Citadel all the way up here is largely irrelevant. I have this one. It's basically the same thing. Inn, hospital, watchtower, and a supply center. You might have to buy some material points. We have Villareth Ford. Supply center does give material points, so that's good. A watchtower isn't that important here, actually. Let's buy some material points. I think we'll go with 2 hospitals here. Then we have Hamlet of Sork. We'll go with the same over there. Oh, we already built there. Never mind. Stone Maze Outpost is the next one then. So, watchtower, inn, hospital, and supply center. And then let's just move southwards. You... Yeah, I think that's a good formation. I can still fight. Quick, tie him up. It's the Crusaders. The Crusaders are here. The Crescent of the Abyss must be informed.
Save the last one for me.
Have a little bit of haste. Cleric, archer, guard, just go for the cleric.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Darren, you also go for the cleric, please.
Out of my sight!
As for you, Camellia, do a controlled fireball here. That should get rid of most of them. Doubt we can reach him.
Attack!
Can you charge him?
You won't survive me. I will see to your demise.
I'll cut you wide open.
Let's try this way.
Into the fray.
That's all of them over there. I think that's all of them all together. So many things that I don't need. We don't need a great sword.
Follow my lead.
Basically just basic magical items. +1 this, +1 that. Doubt there's anything else here.
As it should be.
Indeed not. Let's move on. The Shrine of Sacrilege. Now that was the first of 2 encounters in regards to Woljif, and I don't remember if we have to go to Wintersun first or after.
I found, something.
Can't hide from me.
You can trust me. I hope you appreciate this. Now what is that?
What's up with all these traps?
I am helpful, am I not? I am helpful, am I not? I hope you appreciate this.
Ah, this is the second encounter. It's him, the one who killed our brothers and sisters. Woljif rises from the stone throne and halts the sacrifice with a raised hand. The cultist holding the knife over the victim on the altar stops. Woljif is wreathed in blue flame and the demonic shadow rises up behind him. Easy now, we're all friends here. This was just a little misunderstanding. You thought you'd come across crusaders, but they're big fans of our Lord Baphomet too. Woljif half turns to you, his right eye twitching, which you interpret as an attempt to wink discreetly. Ain't that right? Yeah, a misunderstanding. Hail Baphomet. Woljif's face lights up. Right, exactly. Pilgrims of the Worldwound, meet the finest member of our big family. Hey there, Chief. Long time no see. Why don't we hold off on the sacrifice for now? We need to drink to this happy meeting, am I right? Yeah, let's do that. Tie that one on the altar up again. We'll get round to slaughtering it later. The cultists exchange looks and whispers. The chief cultist lowers his knife. The Crescent of the Abyss says so, then welcome. Make yourselves at home in the temporary camp of the pilgrims of the Worldwound, but why did you attack our brothers? Well, Woljif, why did we attack our brothers? Because the chief sometimes has these fits of insanity and battle rage. It is a blessing from Lord Baphomet. The chief goes crazy, he goes crazy and gets twice as strong as normal. If the blessing kicks in at the wrong moment, well, that's just bad luck for you. I've had to get away from the crazed chief a few times, so I know what I'm talking about. The cultist casts a wary glance at your weapon but passes no remarks. It is good that the Crescent of the Abyss, our beacon in the darkness, and our oracle has resolved this misunderstanding. Relax, friends, and after, if you wish, you may join our pilgrimage.
That is not far.
Woljif is waiting for you next to the altar, wearily wiping the sweat from his brow. Phew! I thought I was done for. Could feel it in my tail that they were going to kill me. If you ain't a sight for sore eyes, Chief. When I heard the gargoyles hadn't got you and that you were running the show up at Dresden now, I can't tell you how happy that made me. But that night it all happened, I tell you, I was so scared I couldn't see straight. I wandered around, wondering if my chief and the rest of the gang were lying in an open field with their eyes picked out. Even my conscience prickled a little, thinking about how I ran, but when you look at it from my side, what else was I supposed to do? The actual paladins were getting cut down, left, right, and centre. And then these pilgrims of the Worldwound tell me that Dresden's been reclaimed, that there is a new commander called Caledon. Well, I said to myself, there can't be two demon-slaying dynamos with that name, it must be you. So I cut my way through the circles around Dresden and I waited for you to come out. At one point I got so desperate I almost went right up to the city walls, but I thought better of it. Although an arrow in the skull would be a sight better than running in fear of Voetiel. Woljif sucks in a breath and keeps talking in a rush, like he's afraid you'll turn around and walk out. Do you know Voetiel? Voetiel? I don't either, but I remember the name because of what Brother Melrone yelled in the basement that time. I'm going to tell Hepsamira and Voetiel, or something like that. Anyway, my shadow told me that Voetiel is that demon, and I should be scared of him because he's after the moon of the abyss, but the shadow's a whole other story. But if you want to know why I haven't just come to Dresden, I need your help. It's a matter of life and death, Chief. Slow down. You're not making sense. What's going on here? Okay, I'll shut up. I mean, I won't shut up, but ask me what you want to know, and I'll tell you. What was that? That was my cunning plan, Chief. Woljif's tail is whipping back and forth so fast it's a blur. Why are you pretending to be a cultist? Woljif raises his hands defensively. Easy there, Chief. I'm no cultist and I didn't just ask you to play along for the fun of it. I had a reason, I swear, and it's not because I've seen what you're like in a fight, and I know I've no chance against you. Quick pause here because I have to sneeze. Sorry about that. Why did you run the night we fought the gargoyles? Run? Me? I fought them. I did. You should have seen me. I got one right on the nose, sent it arse over tea kettle and it flew off. I've gotten into scrapes a fair few times before, been caught by surprise in the dead of the night more times than I can count. So that's why I leapt up quick as anything, grabbed my knives and, well, of course I made a run for it. What else was I gonna do? I'm just a thief, a city boy. I don't go toe-to-toe with demons. Sure, I said I'd help you and all, but that was before. I didn't sign up for nighttime gargoyle attacks. What kind of idiot attacks in the middle of the night? I thought war would keep more civilized hours, to be honest. Wrong again. So, apologies, Chief, but I always end up on the winning side. It's just my nature. You and your lot in the camp that night did not have the look of victory about you. And it's not like I'd have been much help if a gargoyle snatched me in its claws. Of course I decided to run, and run I did. What's your relationship with the Baphomet cultists? Woljif looks pensive. It's complicated. It's a story of unrequited love, really. They love me, and all I think about is how to get away from them and save my own skin. How did you end up with them? Same way I end up anywhere. I was walking, and then here I was. Oh, I should mention at this point, my shadow, you know it, well, it started talking. At first, I was so scared I thought there was someone growling behind me, but then I listened closely and it was my shadow. It only got out a few words, but I heard the name WotR and I learned that he's a demon and that he wants my moon of the abyss for some reason. And then I learned which direction he was looking for me in. When I heard that, I turned around and went the other way. I'm not an idiot. Those pilgrims of the Worldwound clubbed me round the head, and I woke up and they were already dragging me to the altar. I said to him, "Brothers, don't drag me to the altar. I have a proposition for you, one you won't want to miss." But they paid no attention and kept dragging me. In the end, I had to show them my party piece. They saw my shadow and dropped to their knees, just like that. I fed them a line about how I can speak directly to Baphomet through it, and they lapped it right up. That's why I'm still alive. You said your shadow's been talking to you. Not just any shadow, my special shadow. After I spent a while running around the Worldwound, scared out of my wits, it suddenly crept out and whispered in this distant-sounding voice. "OTL, North, here OTL." And the name was familiar because that's what Brother Melrone yelled out, and I put two and two together. This WotR was in the north, and I needed to make sure he didn't find me. Bit by bit, I got the shadow to tell me that WotR was a demon and that he was looking for the moon of the abyss. Who knows why? By the way, I have a couple of thoughts of my own about the moon. I'll tell you about them once we're out of this mess. Remind me why I shouldn't just kill all these cultists here and now? Because... Woljif looks around and lowers his voice to a conspiratorial whisper. "They will still be useful to us if you decide to help me. And thanks for not trying to kill them as soon as you got here. By the way, their leader is a nervous sort. He would have definitely stabbed the lad on the altar if you'd caused a fuss. They think if they perform all these sacrifices, Baphomet's going to appear and hand out powerful spells like candy." "What do you want from me?" "In a nutshell, Chief, I've got a bit of a situation here. One wrong move and I'm a goner. The demon WotR is in the vicinity somewhere. A good man has suffered. The cultists are animals. I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out of this and make WotR back off, but without you, I've no chance. Help me. I won't forget it as long as I live." "Who is WotR?" "All I know is that he's the demon that sent Brother Melrone to get the moon of the abyss. Now that I have the moon, WotR's after me. I'm already tired of running from him. He's gonna catch me soon, I can feel it." "And what part exactly are the cultists playing in your plan?" Woljif glances around, making sure you are not overheard. "Do you know why they call themselves the Pilgrims of the Worldwound? Because they're itching to meet big-name demons like Baphomet. It's like they're on a pilgrimage. So that got me thinking. Since they listen to me, we can lead them to WotR and mess with their heads a bit. Say that Baphomet's been calling him nasty names and let the cultists fight WotR for us. It'll be a riot. Cultists helping us take out a demon. Well, what do you think?" "What good man are you talking about?" "Me, of course." Woljif folds his arms. "I'm a prisoner here, you know. And I suppose there's also the other fellow, Devil, the one that's tied up. Kind of owe him one. I made a dumb mistake and now he's paying for it. Now, don't get me wrong, I couldn't care less about the guy. He got himself into this mess. Except, if it wasn't for me, they maybe wouldn't have caught him in the first place. These pilgrims kept asking me, will we have long to wait for the favours of Lord Baphomet? And as though just because I have my own shadow, I should know. What am I, some kind of demon whisperer? I just put on a kind of knowing air and say to him, do as you have been doing and the favours will come. They took that to mean that they needed to keep cutting people up on the altar. I tried to put them off the idea, but they didn't listen. I acted like I was discussing things with my shadow, and I kept trying to hold them off, saying that the stars weren't in alignment, that raining eyeballs was a bad omen. I'd run out of ideas just before you showed up, Chief. I was already considering just letting them do it. He was a crusader after all, you know. Demons would probably get him in the end either way. It's not my fault that's how they do things. It was either him or me. Woljif sighs and turns away. His tail is twitching from side to side in agitation. There is one way to get both of us out, but I can't manage it on my own. I need your help. Right, I'll help you deal with WotR. Woljif's face lights up and the tip of his tail dances through the air. I always knew you were a special sort, Chief. Let's go break his horns off. We need to go to a patch of scrubland by a bend in the river. It's not far, I'll show you. Nothing interesting about the place at all, but that's where I was when my shadow came out and started pushing me back the other way. It said that WotR would find me easily there, that he'd swoop in and tear me limb from limb as soon as I popped up. I wasn't long turning away from that place, I tell you. There's just one other thing. We need to round up my lackeys and send them off on an errand. While they're gone, we can free the prisoner. No point leaving him here to be bored stiff, right? Listen up, brothers, sisters. The shadow has spoken. It says that a demon will come to a secret place, a wasteland where there are almost no trees left next to a bend in the river. We once passed by there, but we took a wrong turn and didn't find it. Glorious day. Before we set off, I say we make the sacrifice. I say let's hold off on the sacrificing. Time's a-wasting and demons are busy, you know. Leave your things and go. I must meditate before such an event, and when I'm all meditated out, I'll come and summon the demon to you. Commander, a moment of your time. The young crusader cautiously gets to his feet, unable to believe that he is finally free. At last the day has come when those odious faces will no longer be looming over me. The cultists hid my weapons and armor somewhere. I'll find them and then take my leave of this place forever. They're over there with the rest of the stolen stuff. I made sure they didn't go walkers in the night. I hoped you'd make it out of this somehow. Thanks to your efforts, Woljif. Go. Time is of the essence. If there is a demon hunting you, better to lure him into a trap and strike first. Who are you? The crusader bows. Devil Gwenviar at your service. Nobleman, crusader, and only surviving member of my unit. How did you end up here? The crusader's eyes stare into the distance. Solely through my own foolishness, because of my inability to fight like a man. I thought the crusade would be the best way to make my mark on history. I dreamt of the glory, of the respect that would be otherwise denied me as the third son of a noble family. When an officer laughed at my skills and called me an ignorant interloper, how right he was. Fate has a twisted sense of humor. My more experienced comrades died in this cursed place, one after another, but I survived. There were only 5 of us left in the end. Our hubris was gone, we were jumping at every shadow, and we still weren't cautious enough. I was the only one who survived after we were attacked in the night. I should have realized what was happening when the lookout went missing. What are you planning to do now? Find my armor and weapons, find something to eat, and then leave this place as quickly as possible. The crusader looks ahead with grim determination. Perhaps I will die in the wound, but I will die with a sword in my hands, not like an animal at a slaughterhouse. And if I do make it out, I shall build a temple in Iomede's honor in my hometown. You're rich enough to build a temple if you fancy it? You were complaining that your parents don't give you enough money. I think we have slightly different conceptions of what counts as enough money. In any case, money is no longer a concern of mine. My life and my legacy belongs to the goddess who sent you and the commander to my aid. Alright then, farewell and good luck. May Iomede keep you. We need Woljif, but Camellia has stuff that we want. So what we have to do is go back to Dresden, level up Woljif, and then leave Dresden again so we can switch them. But before we do any of that, let's just have a quick look around here. Large stone with candles is covered with Baphomet symbols, used for an altar, yes. stone throne that the cultists erected for Woljif does not look very comfortable. Indeed not. Actually, masterwork one.
I'll go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Didn't exactly get a lot of loot, these cultists.
I know the way.
So yeah, we'll quickly head back to Dresden by way of teleportation. Stop. Why doesn't that work? Ah, I haven't built the teleportation circle in Dresden yet. You know, that might be a good idea. Not just a good idea, but a critical one at that. We need the teleportation circle. Shelter. We don't need that in Dresden. Smithy is there, so it's affecting those two. Okay, so these are in a pattern. I think we'll save. The important part here was the teleportation circle. We'll save up material points. I don't want to spend oodles of money on it. We can rest in Dresden. If we go to the Citadel now, that's going to cause all kinds of things. So we'll just go to the street. And I know we're on overtime here, but I'd like this done so we can continue just adventuring in the next episode. Of course, we have to go to the Citadel, but... Okay, so Woljif. First of all, Camellia. You don't need that. We can equip her up again if we need her later. Woljif. You have a pipe fox. I don't think that is very... I think I want you to have that one. And of course the lockpicker's kit, because trickery checks. As for your rings, you have competence on use magic. And a ring of protection +2. The ring of protection is not that necessary. Let's swap that out with this one. And you will have 22 trickery. That is a lot more useful. Combined with 21 stealth. As for your backup weapon, you will definitely take the Hunter's Assurance instead. And your main weapons, you have a dagger, Retriever's Claw, and a shiny dagger. We have this one now, which is definitely better than the shiny dagger, so we'll give you that as a secondary weapon. As for your armor, you are wearing Lady Calandra's chain shirt, which I think is the best quality armor we have for you currently, in terms of weight versus movement speed. You should continue to wear that cloak for now. Let me just put these on Regil, so I remember. And then just let's quickly level him up. Woljif's level 5 is not going to be an Eldritch Scoundrel, it's going to be a Vivisectionist. It's not level 5, it's level 8. And on this level, you should have 1 point of dexterity. Plop, plop, plop. Medical discovery. Seem to have placed that in the wrong area. Anyways, feral mutagen will give us 2 claw attacks and a bite attack whenever he does a mutagen. And then animal aspect. Then level 9. We need improved 2-weapon fighting. And for the spell, I think Blur. Not that I think we're ever going to use it, but... might be useful. And then the mythic level. Level 2, we want 2-weapon fighting, mythic. Reducing the penalty by 2 on the attack rolls. And mythic level 3 will be ever ready. Which is nice because equal to mythic rank, so plus 3 currently on all attack rolls and damage rolls for attacks of opportunities, and also an additional 2 attacks of opportunity per round. And with that, I think we have to wrap up the episode. So if you have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those in the comment section below, of course. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you all in the next one.